Hello everyone, here is Tony, and today we are going to see how to deliver an action space. I'm going to share you the screen. Yeah. So let's start. This part is action space and it's part of a series of training about trained trainers. So action space for sure is as it's saying in its name, action. And we're going to see the why of this. There are a lot of good reasons why you should do an action space. Checking how the process is run by your members and improve it. Recover performance gap. Process big volume of customers stuck in one part of the funnel. For example, you're having a lot of signups. What you can do is doing an action space with a goal of converting them through sign up to applicant or through sign up to meeting with you, and stay in the peak. It's important to deliver action space also to stay in our Exchange global timeline. But there are also bad reasons on why you should not do an action space. That are basically two. Its action space should not substitute your routine work. It's not something that you should do because usually you don't work or your member doesn't work, but it's something that can boost those things, as we were saying before. And for sure, it's not the only solution that you can have. Then, during this action space, what you have to do is onboard on clear goal and how much time do you have to deliver those objectives. Set responsibility and explain the process to all the people attending to the action space, and ensuring that all the participants have a clear working flow in their mind. For example, I know that I'm calling the stakeholder, and what I will say to him is this and this. And based on his answer, I will say this and this. And after this, what I'm going to do is putting this information in the tool and updating the things. And this thing needs to be known by all the participants. And then keep also a compelling scoreboard in order to keep update and engage better your members or the participant on the action space. But you also have to prepare this action space, and you have to find enough time to make it happen, first of all, and find the right time. It does not make sense if you meet for just 20 minutes to deliver an action space, because it's more the effort that the participant will put in going to the action space and coming back home rather than on the action space itself. And also, like, it doesn't make sense for the action space to be at 10 p.m. if your target are the stakeholder, or like in the afternoon if you know that the schools are closing at 1 p.m. So find the right time and find enough time to make it happen. Second thing is prepare the material, explanation booklet, list of contacts, the scoreboard that we were saying before. If you arrive to the action space not prepared, the action space will not be successful, because you will take most of the time just to prepare it, and or like to manage somehow and going with the flow, the things that you should have prepared before. And then also engage your members in what an action space is and why it's so important for you as an LC or for you as a team. There are also things that you should not do, like doing things in a rough. Just meet with a couple of persons in order to deliver an action space. Like, imagine what is the impact if you meet with 2 people that you can bring with an action space. Is it really an action space? Big question mark. And during the action space, also be bored. I mean, you are there to achieve result, to achieve a lot of result. If your attitude is being bored about the things, about the thing that you do, is not what will engage for sure other people in doing it, and doing it with high quality standards. What? In the end, the material and the preparation that you should have is for sure online and offline material. Imagine if your online connection stopped working. What are the different things that you can do in order to ensure that the action space will not stop, and the effort that you put before will be still enough. Enough workload to engage and achieve. If you organize an action space to call 10 signups, and you have 5 members, you don't need an action space and all this organization in order to deliver this. It's something that should be, as we were saying before, going with the normal workflow and your normal routine. So have enough workload to engage and have enough workload also to achieve something. For sure, if you have one stakeholder to call each, there will be members that will not achieve and members that will achieve, because we have some conversion that in the work that we do. But if you're able to take more stakeholders or more customers and connect with them, the more we have, the more possibility we have to achieve. Engagement preparation and ensuring a lot of people there, as we were saying before, and do actionable things in order to have immediate result. Organizing an action space to share Instagram stories or to send emails is not actually an action space, as we will see later. Then, very important thing, and I will say that is 50% of the results that you will have in the action space will come from this, is that you have to be positive and you have to educate well people in order to do things. One of the why of the action space is also check like how your people are working and change their approach to the work and change their not just attitude but also knowledge. So if you see that someone is having struggles in calling and is not presenting well the things that like our proposition to a customer, you can, after the first call, explain again how this thing should be done and educate them to deliver it better. Stimulate before starting is like even like explain them the why of the action space is important and why it should be delivered in this exact moment and what are the expected results from it. Keep a compelling scoreboard, as we were saying. Make them engaged in the way that they're achieving a result. Every meeting that I'm signing with one EP is one post-it that I will put in the wall, or is a square that I will color with a green mark if it was effective, with a yellow one if it was like it was almost effective, and with red one if I failed. And then recognize success and recognize success during the meeting. So if you are organizing a small competition, saying, "Oh, amazing, team one, you're achieving this much. Great, how are you doing? Bravi tutti," and so on. And this is one important thing. Like action space is different than working time. In all the things that I was saying, like to do or not to do before, you probably have noticed this difference. If I have just to send 50 emails and I want to engage all my team to do it, it's okay. But it's not an action space because you will not work on a critical MOS. You will work on the KPIs that you can do, like, for example, in a working time. Like, let's meet for 1 hour and let's work on sending email to stakeholder, or let's work on a market analysis. And this is something that you can do and actually is also like suggested to do, but it's not an action space because it does not have a clear outcome and a clear goal out of it that will depend on the quality of the job that you will deliver. So make sure your action space are well driven with one clear objective and engaging all the people on the purpose of achieving that objective. So what's next? And this is actually like when you have a successful action space, it's not successful in the end of the action space, but if the action space is follow up in a good way. So on the result, first of all, if you hopefully progress on the achievement of your LCs, ensure that everyone is aware of their contribution. Because if you make this, you also create a learning and culture process for them in order to understand what is good and what is not good. if you had an impact, be aware on what actually brought this impact. And if you were able, in 1 hour of the LC, achieving a lot, make them understand which was the individual contribution and how they could put this individual contribution in their daily work. If you use the motto push a vision during this action space, is a good point if you follow up on that, because it will let the LC remind how they were feeling and how they were acting during this action space. Last but not least, and this is also the most important thing, action space will include a big amount of stakeholder or customers. And it's very important for you to make sure that those customers will have a decent follow-up after the action space. So if you involve all the LC in the action space for IGV, make sure that IGV member have a clear situation to start working from the very next day. So make a wrap-up in the end of the action space to, yes, follow up on culture and how your member were feeling during it, but also on the actual results and what are the next steps that we could do. Because it doesn't make sense for you to call 10,000 schools in 1 day and then you don't have any meeting or you don't sign any contract with them, even if they were interested. Yeah, and ensure the same commitment used in the action space in the follow-up and recognize the result. Also, like the upcoming result from the next week. So, as we were saying before, don't forget that you made an action space and that it was amazing, but follow it up and make sure that members are still engaged to work on it after it. And this is it. Have great actions and action. We love attraction. Make sure you're able to deliver a good action space, both for attraction, especially in February and beginning of March, and then for consideration also, because you can do a lot of things. You can have a call for following up or for make people applying, or for also doing interviews to EPs and approving them to stay in our global exchange timeline. And that's it. Hope it was everything clear. If you have any question, approach me. I will be more than happy to share with you good action space that I did and bad action space that I did, and share with you those learning in order for you to deliver the best summer peak that we ever saw in Asia for Poland. Bye.